Okay, so this is the presentation for photosynthesis and respiration. Photosynthesis, that is the process that plants go through in order to make their food. They use sunlight energy and combine that with the carbon dioxide that they absorb from the air and water that is absorbed from the ground through the roots to make sugars and oxygen. They use the sugars for food and then they release oxygen. The chemical equation for that is sunlight plus carbon dioxide plus water yields sugars and oxygen. Why is this important to us? Because we can't make our own food. We have to eat our food, and in order for that food to have food, they have to make their own food. So the food that we eat comes from plants, and plants have to make their own food or produce their own glucose in order to get the energy that they need. So here is a drawing of basically of what happens. The sun comes in, carbon dioxide is absorbed, water is absorbed through roots, glucose is being made within the leaf, and oxygen is released, and the glucose is used as food for the plant to grow, and then heterotrophs come and eat the plant. So what happens during photosynthesis inside the cell? Inside the cell we've got chloroplasts, which are organelles that you learned about yesterday or on Tuesday in the plants, and they capture the light and use that energy to make the sugar, which plants use as food. Then oxygen is also a byproduct, which is released out into the environment, which we then inhale. So let's watch a brain pop video.
Dear Tim and Moby, how do plants grow? From Nance1277. All living things need nourishment to grow, but plant food is different from people food. Plants make their own food in a process called photosynthesis. Photosynthesis couldn't happen without the sun. Plants collect energy from sunlight and use this energy to make a sugar called glucose. Glucose is the main source of nutrition for plants, fueling their cells for function and growth. I'll show you. It's no secret that plants use their roots to drink up water from the soil. Water travels from the roots to the plant's leaves through a transport tissue called xylem, that's wood in trees. Meanwhile, leaves absorb carbon dioxide from the air through openings called stomata. The water and carbon dioxide spread through the leaves into cells called the palisade and spongy cells. These cells contain structures called chloroplasts, which are filled with a green pigment called chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is what makes green plants green. In photosynthesis, chlorophyll traps energy from sunlight, storing it as chemical energy. This process splits water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen atoms. The chemical energy is used to create glucose from the hydrogen and carbon dioxide. The glucose dissolves into extra water molecules and gives the plant plenty of food for growth. The leaves release oxygen as a waste product. That's one reason that plants are so important to us. They absorb our carbon dioxide and leave us with oxygen. We inhale the oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide back into the air. Yeah, I guess you could call it a partnership, except we eat them. Moby, drinking sugar is not going to make you grow. It's just going to make you hyper. Oh boy.
Oh, that Moby. Alrighty, which takes us then to cellular respiration, because Tim mentioned that we eat those organisms. So we take the organisms that we eat and we break down those organisms that we eat for the energy that they contain. So the sugars that are in the plants or in whatever other organisms is broken down into carbon dioxide and water. The chemical equation for respiration looks like this. Or in English, it is sugar plus oxygen yields carbon dioxide, water, and energy. So the sugars we'll get from plants or other organisms. We inhale the oxygen, and the oxygen and the sugars react chemically to form carbon dioxide, which we release into the air, water, which our body uses, and energy, which our body uses. We use the energy, the product of respiration, to build new cell parts, to repair cell parts, or to reproduce new cells. So the energy that is used is all for cellular repair and reproduction. All of the cellular respiration processes occur in the mitochondria, if you've ever heard the mighty mitochondria. And as you learned in the Simply Cells video, that's what makes our energy, the mitochondria. So let's watch another.
Do you mind? Trying to concentrate on my breathing here. Dear Tim and Moby, is respiration the same thing as breathing? From Chad. I'm practicing deep breathing, but breathing and respiration are two different things. Breathing is part of the respiratory system, a group of organs that deliver oxygen from the air we breathe to cells throughout the body. Respiration, or cellular respiration to be exact, is what living cells do with that precious oxygen. Right, we all need oxygen to survive, but did you ever stop to wonder why? Yeah, that's what I thought. We use oxygen to process glucose, a simple sugar that provides all the energy cells need to function. All day long, your digestive system is busy breaking down food and turning it into glucose to power your cells. Glucose, along with oxygen from your lungs, is delivered to your cells through your bloodstream. Inside tiny cellular structures called mitochondria, these substances undergo a chemical reaction called respiration. When the reaction is complete, three things are left over: an energy-packed molecule called ATP, water, and the waste gas, carbon dioxide. Your cells expel the carbon dioxide into your blood, which carries it to your lungs. When you breathe out, you're exhaling this carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is a harmful waste gas that your body needs to get rid of. If too much carbon dioxide builds up in your blood, you die. Right, the ATP. ATP stands for adenosine triphosphate, and cells use it to do everything that requires work. The energy in ATP lets cells synthesize complex organic molecules like DNA, RNA, and proteins. It powers the muscle contractions that let us move around. And lots more. That's true. Cellular respiration isn't just for humans. You find it happening inside the cells of all living animals, and even plants. Another good point. Because it uses oxygen, cellular respiration is also called aerobic respiration. But what happens when there's no oxygen handy? Like when you're exercising really hard and your lungs can't supply your muscle cells with all the oxygen they need? In that case, the cells go with a backup plan called fermentation, where glucose is processed with carbon dioxide instead of oxygen. It doesn't make as much energy as aerobic respiration. But it works for a short time. This kind of respiration, in which something other than oxygen is used to release the energy from glucose, is called anaerobic respiration. Some organisms, like yeasts, use only anaerobic respiration for energy. Hey, are you even listening? Moby. Hey, Moby.
Oh, Moby. Alrighty. So important thing we need to remember is that Cellular respiration is used by all organisms, including plants, whereas photosynthesis is only a process that occurs in plants. So let's look at the two chemical equations. The first one being photosynthesis, where sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water come together to produce sugars and oxygen. And the chemical equation for respiration, which is where sugars and oxygen come together to produce carbon dioxide, water, and energy. What do you notice? Hopefully right now you're taking a look at the two and comparing the two equations. What you should notice is that the two equations are flip-flop of each other. They are the opposites of each other. Whereas photosynthesis requires energy and carbon dioxide and water to make sugars and oxygen, respiration requires sugars and oxygen to make carbon dioxide, water, and energy. So let's complete this comparison matrix, because what we need to understand is that photosynthesis has to occur for respiration to occur, but they're processes that help each other, but they're very different. So first and foremost, hopefully you need to copy this comparison matrix. So put this on pause and then copy it. And when you're ready, you can press play again. Okay, so photosynthesis occurs in the chloroplast, whereas respiration occurs in the sorry, I'm going in order. Photosynthesis. The required materials for photosynthesis is sun, carbon dioxide, and water. The products of photosynthesis is glucose and oxygen. The main goal, like what in the world does photosynthesis occur for? That is glucose for food. And that food, the glucose for food is for plants. Respiration, on the other hand, occurs in the mitochondria. The required materials for respiration are glucose and oxygen. The products are carbon dioxide, water, and energy. And the main goal for respiration, why it occurs in the first place, is for energy, for functioning, and for cell repair, and for cell reproduction, and things of that nature. Again, take a look at these two areas here on our matrix. What photosynthesis requires, respiration creates. What photosynthesis creates is required by respiration. So they are two processes that work together in order to fuel the energy that organisms need. I did not fill in the chemical formula down there for either one, but I trust that you can do that as well. And I expect to see this matrix at school. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I will be happy to help you with them. I hope you enjoyed it.